Okay, so this is worksheet number 2. We're going to be going over breathing. I think the coffee kicked in right then. That's why I was babbling. Anyway, but we're going to go over worksheet number 2. This is breathing mechanisms. So basically, what is the mechanism of breathing? How do we breathe, right? One respiratory cycle consists of one inspiration followed by an expiration. So that's a cycle. So like just think about how many cycles you breathe a day. I mean, that's pretty phenomenal, right? Another mechanism with breathing is, where is it controlled? The phrenic nerve stimulates the diaphragm to contract. Your diaphragm is a muscle that sits right under your lungs. So it is the main muscle of respiration. So when your diaphragm contracts, let me think about this actually for a minute. So let's see. I don't actually know. I'm trying to think about when it relaxes. I think its natural shape is when you're when you breathe out, this is its natural shape. So it's relaxed when you breathe out. But when you breathe in, it has to contract, and that is inspiration. So it contracts during inspiration because natural shape, it's like a dome shape. So this is when it's happy, this is when it's like, no, breathe out, breathe out. So hopefully that kind of helps with that. Another muscle that contracts during normal, quiet expiration are your external intercostal muscles. So intercostal, meaning between your ribs, and external, meaning like on the outside of your ribs, if that makes sense. So diaphragm and external intercostal muscles is just with regular breathing. Does that make sense? Yeah? Good, good, good. So number 4 is asking, if there's less pressure in the lungs / alveoli, then the atmospheric pressure will force air into the airways. So let's think about this now. So the pressure really depends on the condition that your lung is in, that your lungs are in. So just say you breathe in a lot, that's a lot of pressure, right? Think about it in terms of a balloon. Your lungs are balloons. So when you inhale and you have all this air, there's more pressure in your lungs. Hello. And there's less pressure in the atmosphere, right? Ooh. Huh? You got it? We're just going over this one. So we're on number 4. Okay. So, right. So it's just basically pressure. And in terms of concentration, where does it move? It goes from a blank to a blank concentration, from high to low. So air will always go from the high concentration to the low concentration. Same thing with your lungs. It'll always go from a high pressure to a low pressure. So when you have a lot of air in your lungs, high pressure, you're going to breathe out and it'll go into low pressure. When you breathe out, your lungs turn to like deflatable balloons and they're just like no pressure, right? So I wish I had balloons that I could just like wiggle around, but there's no pressure in there, right? But so the pressure is then high in your atmosphere and low in your lungs. So then pressure will go into your lungs, and that's why you breathe in. So that's why we don't control it. We don't have to think, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, unless we're doing like yoga or something. But we don't need to think about that because it's literally just the movement of air. It's very natural for our bodies to do that. So just know, so let's do it quick. If there's high pressure out here and low pressure in the lungs, where will air move in? Into the lungs. And if you have a lot of pressure in your lungs, where will air go? Out. Right. So just kind of understand that portion of it. Another thing that helps, so when you breathe in, there's something called like surface tension, and that's something that just helps with expansion. So what's really cool, on your ribs you have cartilage. You learn in 101. Well, this is building on that. That cartilage, when you breathe, moves, right? So surface tension helps